Good afternoon. I can't wait to share with you our new proclamation from Mayor Salas, and that we have dedicated this exhibit and the month for Holocaust awareness, Yom HaShoah, that here in Chula Vista we never forget, and I love the new certificate. This is really great, Mayor. This is awesome. We have some new additions, so for those of you who have come to the exhibit, we have some things we want to show you. During this pandemic time, we met somebody in, of all places, Pahrump, Nevada. It's called Nature Farm. And the owner was so kind to give me this Nazi helmet. And you can read about it when you come here, because we want you to come here. Thank you so much, Alex DeJean and Tatiana Molyarov, for hosting me at Nature Farm. I had such a great time, and the antique store was just incredible. And knowing that you've donated to our exhibit is huge. I know the children are gonna love it, and the adults too. Oh, let me get over on this side. Also, what we have here are headphones that were used during World War II, American ones. I believe they're from the Army. So you might wanna check out that new edition. And for those of you who have not come to the exhibit, maybe this will be a great time for you to come. Stay tuned for today's episode. It's going to be awesome. The ash, and if you look at it, it has the feel of Auschwitz. And he's a wonderful artist, Rich Walker. He's on 3rd Avenue. Do you know Rich? Dr. Bronner's to the rescue, keeping us safe. Thank you guys, this is really wonderful. Hi, I'm Sandra Scheller with the South Bay Historical Society and the Chula Vista Heritage Museum here in lovely Chula Vista. I'm with an incredible guest from the San Diego Repertory Theater, Todd Salovey, and you're also an instructor at Ucsd, am I correct?
That's correct.
What a pleasure. What a pleasure to have you here.
Well, great to be here and great to see the exhibit. A beautiful tribute to your mother and to the South Bay and to our Holocaust survivors.
The most important thing is the Holocaust survivors, that this to me is like planting a seed so that in San Diego, if they decide to take this on, they can say, okay, well, we'll just take everything from the Chula Vista exhibit and then move it in. So it really is a seed more than anything else.
That's a very dramatic seed.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Today we're talking about something called Woman of Valor. So we're gonna have some fun. All right. Some people that were women of valor, did you know they wrote books? Look at Fanny Kravitz, Leibovitz. Just love her.
She has an amazing story. And
she sure does. Do you know, of all the survivors, she was a nurse, and this is what got her through.
You know what's interesting is I'm friendly with several of her kids, and they didn't know their mom's stories.
Isn't that crazy?
The stories, she didn't tell them when they were young. And when her book came out, they learned things they didn't know.
It's amazing what happens when all of a sudden you're writing it, and it's like having a baby when you write a book, just so you know, because you nurture it and you do things to it, and then it wants to grow, and you know, things like that. My next person is Dr. Edith Eva Eager. We love her so much. I am so proud of her. I'm so proud to call her a friend. This is really, really huge for me.
You know, with Dr. Eager, we just did a video of her Women of Valor section that's posted to the San Diego Rep YouTube channel, and it's a beautiful portrait of her story.
That is so great. That is so cool. Rose Schindler, Two Who Survived. How wonderful is this? Have you ever seen her run and dance? This woman is amazing. This woman has more energy than anybody I know, and she really focuses it on education and helping students with the information that needs to get out from a first-generation Holocaust survivor.
I can imagine her running and dancing.
Yeah. One of my books, he's not a woman of valor, okay, but Lou Pesci wrote I Am Logo, which is a wonderful story. He was not in a camp, but his story is truly, truly amazing. Now we have people that are children, okay? So children who wrote about the Holocaust. This is one of my fun books, From Bergen-Belsen to Brooklyn. And what happened is Dr. Saul Pinczewski, he wrote this book about his mother who was very good friends with a mob person in New York, and how he made sure that nothing happened to her. So I don't want to tell the full story on these things. For children, I really like this one. Survivors of the Holocaust, True Stories of 6 Extraordinary Children. This is from England, and I really love this book. This is a new one that I just received. Resilience, Amazing Courageous Stories of Young Holocaust Survivors. Poetry by Cheryl Reibel and artwork by McLean Fletcher. I just received this, and this was highly, highly recommended to me. Now we are getting into something that you want to have your hands on. This is called Frozen in Time by Francesca Gelbart. And the reason we're here, oh yeah, I know, my mom's book, okay. The reason we're here is because the San Diego Rep, between you and Ali Viterbi, have done something for years called Woman of Valor. And we did an episode with Francesca Gelbart during the pandemic, and I love her. 92 years old, does Tai Chi, absolutely incredible. So the reason we squirted our hands is I'm going to make sure you take that home.
Thank you.
Okay?
Great.
And it is signed to me, but I know you need to borrow it because of Woman of Valor. I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and I want you to tell me what Woman of Valor is.
Well, you know, what's interesting is we select women every year, women in San Diego that are Jewish, that have made a contribution to the community or to science or to government in some way. There are people around them, and we interview them and we tell their story. The way it works is that there are 4 of us, 5 of us, me, Ali Viterbi, Rebecca Myers.
She did my mother's.
Yeah. Sarah Price Keating, and my daughter Leah Salovey. And each year we choose generally 6 women, although this year, because we're doing it as videos, we're only doing 4 women. And we have a list of 10 or so questions that we ask. And the interview takes between an hour and 2 hours. And from that interview and other sources, we create a monologue about their story. And then some of the great actresses in San Diego act out their story. Now, in most years, we would do that at the Lyceum Theater and at the Encinitas Library.
And we hope you're going to do it at the Chula Vista Library.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And but this year and last year, we've done them as videos that we're dropping on the San Diego Rep YouTube channel.
Very, very awesome. When can we look forward to seeing this, and how does the community support the San Diego Repertory Theater and Woman of Valor?
Well, cool. First, I want you to know is that when we were considering our different Women of Valor, I watched your interview with Francesca, and after hearing her speak to you about her story, we said, she would be a wonderful person to tell the story of. So this year, we have 4 women. They are Elizabeth Schwartz. You know, Elizabeth is the klezmer and Yiddish singer. She sings with Hot Pastrami. And Dr. Sonia and Kali Israel. She is a sleep researcher and a community volunteer, very interesting scientist. Jody Graber, she's the head of philanthropy for the United Jewish Federation. And Francesca Gelbart.
Yay, Francesca.
So these are going to be individual videos that will be dropped on the San Diego Rep YouTube site for free between June 3rd and June 10th this year. Each video is about 25 minutes, and you'll be able to hear the story. If you want to see what it looks like, Dr. Eager's video dropped last month. We did it for the Passover holiday, for Pesach, and we felt like hers was a story in some ways of redemption. Right? Redemption in your mind from the things that may keep you from experiencing joy and happiness, your own barriers, your own Egypt of your mind. And so we thought it was significant to tell her story, her amazing story, over the holiday of Passover.
It's great that you can recall them, because this is one thing we do in Judaism. We're very known for recalling stories, different kinds of stories. Think about Passover, think about what we do for Hanukkah. And yet when it comes to people in our own community, I think it is so important for people to know the contributions they've made. I'm, of course, very fond and in love with Francesca Gelbart, only because as I got to know her, she was truly an incredible person to interview. And I guess what we could say is she spoke the Queen's English, which I totally loved. And she's so positive, which is quite something for somebody who survived 5 concentration camps. 5 camps.
I love what you're saying in that the whole reason to do Women of Valor is to understand each individual person's story. Some are known in San Diego, some are not well known, but everyone has a story of their tests, their challenges, the things they feel proud of, what makes them happy, how has Judaism given them a strength to face the challenges of their lives. And I think a lot of people are surprised by the stories that people tell in Women of Valor.
What's interesting is with Francesca, she didn't ask for the life that she had. The other people, they pursued what they wanted to do. It was difficult, but they were able to do it. But with Francesca, it was so different because she didn't wake up one day and say, oh, I think I'll go into 5 camps. Nobody does that. And I am just so fond of her, as I said earlier. And I really hope that all of you that are watching this, including my Chula Vista elementary schools and my middle schools and my high schools, will make it a point to go and see what the San Diego Rep is doing. Now, I will tell you one thing. I love the San Diego Rep. Why? Because of the different programs you have. Well, look at Mr. Hershey Felder. Oh my God. The other one you did was, I'm going to mispronounce it, when the woman, the pianist,
pianist of Willis and Lane, right?
Pianist of, oh my gosh, so unbelievable. I bought her book, and yet when you're doing these interviews, it's easy to forget a name. Sorry. But there's always programs going on, and it's important for everybody to really support the San Diego Repertory Theater. Todd, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Oh, thanks. Thank you for asking. I am the, we could go way back.
Way back.
I'm the 5th great grandson of Reb Chaim of Volozhin, who is recognized as perhaps the dean of the Jewish education, the yeshiva world in Europe. And my father was a professor of chemical engineering at USC. My mom was a nurse. My sister is an organizer. My brother is the president of Yale University. And I'm a theater director and a directing teacher.
How did you get involved in theater?
The short story of that is that when I was a freshman in high school, I really wanted to be on the baseball team, but I moved from Buffalo, New York to Los Angeles area, and like Chula Vista, so many great players have come from the South Bay, and people were stronger, bigger, faster than I was, and when I didn't make the team, I had to do something. So the first role that I did was the rabbi in Fiddler on the Roof. Oh. What's funny is that I was just on a Zoom call with 40 years later, a bunch of the cast, and one of the guys said, what were we thinking? We thought that talent scouts would discover us. Well, who did we think we were? We're playing these Eastern European Jews from generations ago. Who of us looked like one of them? And I was like, Larry, speak for yourself.
Which is so funny.
So I didn't intend to study drama in college, but I went to college to be a lawyer, but after a week I found the theater department. And And then eventually I got an MFA in theater directing from UCSD and immediately began to work at UCSD in San Diego Rep. And I've been, directing now for more than 30 years now.
My goodness. But you're so young. I mean, you're like very young.
We're both as young as each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually older than you are. No, that's amazing. I love your outreach. Just the fact that when you came here, right away you were thinking about what we can do to expand. And I really hope that Chula Vista will be considered as a place to do performances and readings. So,
well, thank you. We have a strong community in the South Bay, and of course everyone is welcome up to downtown in the Lice, and we hope that we will be reopening in the fall, in September. In fact, I'm directing the play The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, amazing play about neurodiversity and the challenges of that in a young person and in a family, and we hope to be reopening that in very early September.
I have a question. What class do you teach at UCSD?
I teach a lot of classes at UCSD. I came to UCSD as an acting teacher, so I teach classes in the acting sequence at UCSD. I've also taught directing at UCSD. I'm the introduction to theater teacher at UCSD, so when you come and you've got that requirement to fulfill, you'll take my intro to theater class. I also have a class taking skills in theater and using them to help people in leadership. I call it creating and portraying the role of leader, teaching people through acting techniques to be stronger in leadership. And then I also teach 2 classes in management communications at the Rady School of Business. So I do a lot of teaching at UCSD.
Todd, was it hard during this pandemic to teach?
At first it was very, very stressful to teach on Zoom. And in fact, for the preparation of any Zoom class takes me about 2 times longer than preparing to be live. But things I love about Zoom, first of all, is that you have access to anything that's on media, you can show it in your class. And so, if I'm talking about a certain field, I can show an interview with the expert. So that's really exciting. My classes have a lot of interaction in them. And so there's a lot of ways to orchestrate engagement even over Zoom. And, if you can convince your students to keep their cameras on, it's kind of fun to be in a Zoom room with a whole room of people all looking at each other for the entire class. So to be honest, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And but I do look forward to getting back to live in the fall.
Sure. I really appreciate you coming here to our library, for making it a point to pick this up. I am not asking you, I'm begging you to watch the Women of Valor. There are 4 of them. They'll be done on 2 dates, or is each one a different date?
4 different dates, but once they're dropped, they stay on the San Diego Rep YouTube page. So you'll be once we've produced them, you can watch them later if you like. And they're Thursday, June 3rd at 7:30, Sunday, June 6th at 7:30, Tuesday, June 8th at 7:30, and then Francesca's is our final piece. We'll be honoring Francesca Gelbart on Thursday, June 10 at 7:30 p.m. I hope you'll come to the San Diego Rep YouTube page and enjoy them.
Well, I'm going to be there for all of them, but I will be there with bells and whistles with my Francesca, of course. And if there's anything I can do to help you with any of the interviews or things that I did, I'm telling you now that Todd has permission to take my YouTube in any way. If you need the MP4 from it, I'm happy to give it to you, because we are a community and we are mishpacha, we are family.
Well, we're very grateful, and yes, we will be using your help. Thank you. While you're interested in Women of Valor, hope you'll also come to the San Diego Rep's internet page, sdrep.com, and see the entire Jewish Festival lineup. We open on May 13 and run until June 23rd, and we have 15 different performances: music, theater, dance, fine art, and they're almost all virtual this year, and they're international. You can hear Joel Grey, the great actor from Cabaret, talk about his direction of the Yiddish Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh my gosh.
Ben Platt from Dear Evan Hansen and his brothers will be singing and speaking to our audiences. We have a play about Bob Dylan from Israel, celebrating Bob Dylan's 80th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
The comedian Elon Gold, Perla Bataya singing the songs of Leonard Cohen. It's really an amazing festival with the Klezmer Summit and so many great things. And this year, all the tickets are donate what you can. That means that you can donate nothing, or you can pay $10 or $15 or $36, and whatever you want to donate gets you into the show. So I hope everyone will come and join us.
That is absolutely amazing. Okay.
This year's about accessibility. We just want to make the festival open to everybody.
Wow. I'm so impressed with what the San Diego Repertory Theater is doing, and I look forward to seeing so many more things happening as it is live, it is real, it's such a well-known place. People around the world now know about the theater, which is great. Yeah. Todd, I've really enjoyed having you here on our show. This is really, really wonderful. Again, make it a point to check the San Diego Repertory Theater, San Diego Rep, in beautiful San Diego. Again, it's coming to you live in your living room. And for those of you that are watching, remember, we have some books from people that are women of valor, which is really great. And I really hope that you will add that to your teachings and lessons of wanting to know how to become somebody great. I wish Tina Turner would be here, simply the best, because these women are simply the best.
They really are.
They really are. They absolutely are. With that, I'm Sandra Scheller with Our Lives, Our Future. Again, I'm with Todd Salovey. Thank you so much for coming. And with that, we say thanks for watching.
Sind mich Schatzen, oi, Gott ist größer, hat doch gewünscht mein Häuser, die mir sind gegeben, Häuser, die mir sind ausgegeben, Starker, freilich, ich dem Alke, du der Melech, oi, ich allein hab mit meinen Augen gesehen, wie Gott hat mir mazelig gewinnt, die mir sind ausgegeben,